Welcome back to CuriousHorse. 2025 is finally here and we are ready to hit some milestones and go on some new horse adventures together. For those of you that are new to this channel, my name is Jack, and last year I kicked off the CuriousHorse YouTube channel, around 6 months ago, to share real-world experiences at horse events, such as horse auctions, horse venues, trial riding, but I would say that the majority of the footage is filmed at my first farm I purchased in 2022. And today I'm bringing my Frisian auction horse Drakaina on an introduction to our nature paddock. Usually it's my mischievous pony Reese that causes all the commotion, but today Patriot is definitely my little troublemaker. Patriot is my first foal and she is my lead horse, Javelin's first and only filly, and we have clearly imprinted on each other. You may see a different side to Patriot today, as she's not too fond of my camera guy for some reason, and I usually agree with my horses when they get a good or bad hit on somebody, but I do not agree with Patriot on this one. My camera guy is actually a really nice guy, he's good-hearted, he's a natural animal lover, but Patriot just doesn't want him to be part of this adventure today, and she is certainly filling her oats and showing off just a little. I can tell that she really only wants my little munchkin herd, her, Reese, and Drakaina, to go on this adventure, but she really has to start getting used to sharing our attention with other people. Bree has also said that she can tell that Patriot doesn't want anyone else around her but me. It does create a little bit of challenge at times because she only really behaves incorrectly around others. I'm her dad. We've imprinted on each other, but strangers or just other people in general, it's just hard for me to correct her behavior when she's a mile away and she's kind of acting naughty like this to other people, and I'm a distance ahead. Timing is everything with horses, and if I was to reprimand her now, I just don't think that'd be very effective.
This is Drakaina's first time out in the nature paddock. I still can't talk because it's so cold. Good girl. Good boy, Reese. I wanted to let Drakaina out, but I think she ran away for some reason. I'm gonna wait a few more sessions. First time out.
But Patriot is a yearling, and so is Drakaina. They're both yearlings, so I think it's something that Patriot will just grow out of eventually. But deep down, I would prefer that she had this kind of confidence, headspace, and she's a secure attitude than being heavily fear-based. But I know this is something I gotta nip in the butt eventually. I'm just not entirely sure how, since she doesn't display that type of behavior to me. And you may have seen her mom Javelin on the prior videos. They are both extremely confident and they're sure of themselves. But I also believe that Patriot is putting on this power display because although my horses do not always act like it, technically they are prey species, so perhaps she's wanting to appear as strong as possible in the event that there are predators nearby. And just as horses hide sickness or weakness or pain, she doesn't want to appear vulnerable. I'm not quite sure. What are your thoughts on why Patriot puts on that display around here? But Patriot did grow up roaming in the nature paddock when I used to train Javelin out here because she needed to get that daily exercise as part of the rehab. But Patriot would follow as a very young age. But she hasn't been out here in over a year, and I've created quite a lot more trails out here that she's not familiar with, so you may see Patriot pulling in a different direction because she's just not acquainted to all the new paths, and it's something that she's going to have to get used to along with Drakaina and Reese's.
Walk. Walk. Walk, walk, walk. I'm in the process of making riding trails, and this is how I kind of check like the terrain, if there's any new holes. But I just cleared out the path, but it's looking really good. I'm gonna full Willow after so you can see it.
I know people have expressed concern with the risk that turning the horses out into this type of forest nature paddock I created, and I definitely share your concerns with the risks too. And one of the ways that I mitigate the risk is to maintain and build on the trails that my horses are naturally drawn towards, so I'm constantly adding based upon like where they're gravitated towards. And by doing this, I've discovered holes caused by groundhogs, and groundhogs are mammals which kind of burrow. I haven't seen many new holes over the last year, and I think that Foxy is doing a good job keeping them at bay. Although I did see coyote and fox holes this spring that were quite deep. We have quite a lot of wildlife here in Maryland. As you can see, the deer on my property are quite tame, especially the does. Fawns, which are baby deer, are born during May and June, and they breed around October to mid-December, so last month. And many of these fawns are born on my property, which is so beautiful to see, so I'm looking forward to that in spring. And when Sarge was a stallion, he was turned out, of course, by himself. And I did notice that the does and the fawns would spend a lot of time in close proximity to Sarge. I think
Broke the shear pin. So the shear pin is a safety pin and I broke it.
they just felt comfortable with Sarge. He's super chill. He has that, laid back energy type personality. And it's really spectacular to watch how his calmness influences them. Of course, one of Foxy's pastimes is to chase the deer, but she really isn't doing it out of aggression. It's just all fun and games for Foxy. Except for people that she hasn't been introduced to, then it's a different story, but she's excellent with animals, I would say. What is that? Woodpecker. Walk. Walk, patty cake. Oh, patty cake. Patty cake. Walk. Patty cake. Walk, 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 walk. Firstly, look how well behaved Reese is. He's acting like the perfect little gentleman. He doesn't have the zoomies, and he's not encouraging the others to act buck wild. And I think he's having a calming effect on Drakaina. I think they're also both getting a little tired. It's been a while since we've been out walking. And then secondarily, it's hard to believe that this is Drakaina's first time out here in the nature paddock. Do you remember during quarantine when she was in the emu paddock and how elevated she had become, her energy? I think by her having access to both a traditional horse paddock, paddock 2, which is behind my house, and then having access to the emu paddock, like the forest paddock, has really allowed her to become comfortable in this type of terrain and environment. And if it wasn't so slippery out here, I may have considered just letting Drakaina out so she could burn off some steam with Patriot. But there's no rush, and we have all the time in the world for her and Patriot to run around in this nature paddock. There's no rush to do this today. But wow, I'm impressed by this yearling. She's definitely an old soul, like many of you have mentioned, and she's such a good fit here. Do you remember the video where we took Javelin, Janana, and Maverick out the first time on the nature walk together, where Janana free-ranged? And this is where Maverick was scared to cross the water crossing after she stepped into some deep footing. And since Maverick wouldn't cross, Janana put on a display of empathy and went out to kind of rescue Maverick. In my opinion, she did that. And then she brought Maverick back to Javelin and I. I thought it was quite heroic, and I've never seen anything like that before.
Maverick! Come on, baby! Come on, Maverick! Come on, baby! Come on, baby! Come on, baby! Maverick! Come on, Maverick! Oh, Maverick! Good girl. Return to us. Good babies. Maverick got really scared at the water. Come on. Janana, Maverick. Good girl. Good girls. Good girls.
Well, to the left is the section of my property where that happened. It's one of my favorite parts of the property, and my best friend Christine's daughter, who's called Grace, she named this section of the property Grace Creek. And we're not going to go down there today because the hill is relatively steep and slippery, but we will likely go there next time. And being that Drakaina is a Frisian, do you think she's going to be reluctant to cross that body of water like Sarge, my Clydesdale, and especially Javelin? Or do you think Drakaina will take to the water just how Janana and Prince love that section of the water? So I'm wondering. So my question is, do you think Drakaina is going to enjoy the water on the property, or do you think she's going to want to stay dry? And since Patriot doesn't like the water, maybe I should bring Drakaina with Janana and Prince so they can kind of influence her. What do you think the best way of introducing Drakaina to the water is? Around a horse that's comfortable with the water, or do you think it doesn't matter?
Patty cake, this way. Patty cake.
Do you see how Patriot's pulling off to that side? That's the old path that we used to walk on, and she hasn't got used to the new paths that I showed you on the tractor just yet.
Patty cake. Walk. Patty cake.
You see how Patriot was stuck at that other part of the trail? She hasn't experienced this new trail yet. Equine memories supposedly differ from human memories in key ways. As humans, we not only remember through our experiences, but we also acquire knowledge through a secondary or secondhand acquisition, such as social media, friends, and family. So it's experience plus the secondary factors. There's also a theory in humans called rose-colored glasses effect. It's a cognitive bias that refers to the tendency to view things in a positive light or to remember past events in a positive way that actually weren't so positive. As you know, I believe in promoting positivity and manifesting a happy life.
Drakaina is doing so good. Reese is getting some exercise. I think this is really good training for yearlings to do, going out in the woods. Patty cake! Patty cake! Walk, 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 walk.
But it's important that we don't let the rose-colored glass effect impact us naively. Rose-colored glasses effect can actually lead towards denial, and denial is a bad quality to have, especially if you associate a bad experience in life as a better experience than it actually was. And then perhaps you want to go back to a bad negative cycle or pattern. The rose-colored glass effect is a contrast to manifesting a positive life, because when you're manifesting a positive life, you cut out all the darkness, and you're constantly moving towards the light. Conversely, the rose-colored glasses will keep you stuck in a bad pattern and not truly allow you to move towards the light. So now that we know how human memories are based on experience and then the secondary acquisition, horses' memories are based on experience alone. There's no secondary acquisition through social media. Some say that horses have an almost photographic memory of circumstances surrounding that negative experience. It's more of an associative type memory, and it's why I don't like my horses to have any negative experiences with my interactions with them. And it's the reason why my younger horses that I have that have never experienced abuse or really had a bad day, like Patriot or Maverick, are so connected to me. But Janana, it's a little bit different with her, right? Horses are good at forming these memories because they've evolved as open plain grazing animals, and they link their experience to a circumstance. And then, of course, the physical surroundings, such as sound and scent, have given them the ability to survive.
Good girl, Patriot. Looks so different out here in the winter. Good boy.
Before ending this video, I think it's important just to quickly talk about salt. So more often than not, horses typically do not get enough salt from the diet. So we either have to add the salt into their feed or we can use a salt block. But it's essential for hydration because the salt encourages horses to actually drink, which helps maintain their fluid balance and it prevents the dehydration. Salt is important for muscle and nerve function. It's essential for that proper muscle contraction and the nerve impulse. Salt also has chloride. So the chloride in the salt helps balance the blood pH, which helps for muscle contraction again, water balance, and stomach acid production. The sodium in the salt helps horses absorb nutrients in their small intestines, which is the nutrient absorption. So if you're not giving your horse access to additional salt, definitely encourage everyone to buy these salt blocks. My horses love them. I go through quite a lot, but they have constant access to them. The Munchkins, Patriot, Drakaina, and Reese are tired. You can kind of see them now laying in the paddock. Patriot's down with Drakaina. Reese, I don't think he wants the girls to be taking a nap right now, but they need it, Reese, let them sleep. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I'm just gonna close the video with a song so we can watch the horses. Thank you for everyone for subscribing and commenting and sharing the video. This is gonna be a great year for the channel. We've got some big milestones coming up. I feel like 2024 was a year of growth for me personally, and I hope others learn through this channel. And 2025 is going to be exponentially better and more advanced. More fun, more horse adventures, and more awareness.